All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second episode of the ALLHEART Podcast. My name is Matt Blaustein. On last week's episode, we interviewed Cade Heimberg about his year-long struggle with COVID symptoms. This week, we're interviewing Alan Purves. TikTok launched in September 2017 and has now over 1 billion users. A bunch of those users have become creators themselves and grown small followings that have grown larger and larger by the day. One of those people is Alan. How are you doing today, Alan?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on the podcast, Matt.
For sure. You want to give the audience a bit of background about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So I'll get started. I'm from Minnesota originally. I go by Alan or Al. Kind of like back in my hometown, I went by Alan, but when I came to college here, I just kind of went by Al. It's kind of a shorter nickname. Some of my interests are like I love staying active. I love cooking as well, and then I also love social media. So like as a kid growing up, I was always on Instagram or Vine, and I kind of that really inspired me to kind of, once this TikTok app came out, kind of contribute and participate in that kind of space and app. So always been interested in athletics and, social media. So that's kind of a little bit about me.
Awesome. So, just looking for a little bit more background. Like what experiences did you have when you were younger that helped you get to where you were today? With regards to like creativity, marketing, anything like that.
Yeah, so I guess like I said, I really loved Vine and kind of making videos. I've always wanted to go viral. Um And so it wasn't until college when I actually ended up going viral. So I have a TikTok account. It's under Al the Badger. And so that has over 50,000 followers now. And I kind of just was inspired by just people making funny videos. And one thing that I think gets kind of like thrown and people don't really know much about it is that it takes a lot of, like, work and whatnot in terms of, like, marketing, and so I kind of knew I wanted to do something with social media, but it wasn't until college when I realized that, I could do social media and, like, go under that marketing umbrella, and so, I guess I should have mentioned this earlier, but I am a marketing student here at the University of Wisconsin, so it's kind of like, doing stuff I wanna do, as well as, um, something that I could, like, pursue professionally in the future.
For sure. So with regards to TikTok, when did you start using it?
Yeah, so I would say I started using TikTok off and on probably my senior year of high school. So that was like 2018, 2019. I went through stints of having it and then deleting it, but it wasn't until about the summer after senior year, so summer of 2019, when I actually started posting videos. And then I started using it more and more as it gained more popularity and I started gaining more followers.
For sure. When was your first indication that this could be a potential career path in the sense that when did you first go viral?
Yeah, so the first time I went viral, it was a pretty crazy story. I just, recorded my friend. It wasn't even me who was really the content of the video. I just filmed my friend remaking an old Vine. And so then I posted it, uploaded it, not expecting much from it. And then I checked TikTok like 2 hours later and it's racked up like 10,000 likes and 200,000 views, and it's just crazy because I turned on my phone and all of a sudden it was just, like, lighting up with all these notifications. I was scared that my phone was gonna break. Um, but yeah, that's kinda, like, the first time I ever went viral, and so after that, the videos, started coming easier as I gained more followers. I think after that one video, I kinda, like, flatlined at, like, 13,000 followers before my next real video that kind of popped off. So it was just kind of like a time I didn't know. at the time, I guess that it could be something I could do professionally. It was kind of like more something that it was like fun to do. But eventually that morphed.
For sure. So how's your usage of social media fueled potential job opportunities?
Uh, I would say that increasingly more and more companies are starting to realize the power of social media and these accounts that the true value that they possess just in terms of interacting with customers, building brand identity. And so just being able to use TikTok and social media in general to kind of foster that authentic voice. I've had experience with that just using it on my personal account. So I feel as if, if I can align with the company's a brand's like a company's like image and whatnot, I can definitely, put that forth using their voice. And so I feel like that's something I've been able to kind of gain over time, kind of truly understand the implications of all that. So that's kind of a direction where I would like to head in the future. So that's kind of how I think of it in terms of like a professional career in the future.
Awesome. How'd your relationship with Barstool come to fruition?
Yeah, so a lot of my content that I post on TikTok is college related, um, and more specifically UW Madison related. And so as TikTok was gaining popularity, um, Badger Barstool kind of wanted to also step into that space and they needed someone to do it. They're just kind of like looking out for people in general. And it just so turns out that, a lot of my content is like Wisconsin themed. Um, and they thought that I would be a good voice for Barstool. And so they offered me to have control over their TikTok account, which had like 400 followers to begin with. I took that over, and now I believe it's over 30,000 followers. So that's kind of how that started. They were just kind of looking, kind of scouting for any like voices in the UW Madison community that could kind of like take it over.
Of course. Have you gained any sponsorships through this?
Yeah, so more on my personal account, I've gained followers from Al the Badger. This summer, I was able to um, get my first brand deal with a company called Hype Flags. So what they did, they sent me flags, and I just have them up in the background of my TikTok videos, kind of not intrusive. They're just kind of there. Um, and then I would get sent those flags, as I mentioned, and then based on how the post performed, I would then receive a payout. And so that was my first brand deal, and that was kind of really learned a lot about the back end process, just in terms of what content creators go through, as well as the communication between the brands and then the creators. So I really thought that was a really valuable experience. I really enjoyed working with Hype Flags. um, just learned a ton from that entire campaign. Uh, during that campaign I was able to get over 200,000 likes on those videos, as well as over 2 million just impressions and views. And so I really learned, as I mentioned, I gained so much knowledge that I feel like I can carry that through um, in the future. Maybe that's something I want to do kind of once I'm not necessarily creating content myself, kind of interacting with those creators and influencers. I'm kind of more on that back end. And then also I got more recently sponsorship with Truly, and so with Truly, I kind of just leveraged my social media following and whatnot to kind of be an ambassador for the brand, and now um, just go out to I post on social media for Truly about different events that are happening on campus. and then we go out to the restaurants and bars and just give out free samples. So I've really enjoyed my time with Truly as well. It's kind of the best of both worlds in terms of really gaining that marketing experience as well as tying in social media and expanding my personal account as well.
100%. Would you say that those type of sponsorships have helped you like get more involved in like the community around you in the sense of like the University of Wisconsin?
Yeah, I definitely think, especially with Badger Barstool, I feel like uh, being a voice can kind of, it creates more recognition around me, and then people see that it's my account and follow me. Um, just because Barstool is just kind of this big entity, especially here at UW Madison, that a lot of people talk about. So I feel like that has helped me connect with the community, as well as being a truly ambassador. It's just kind of I see people out at go that are going out, and I just give them, and I'm physically there with people, kind of making those connections that way. So I guess in that sense, I have become closer with the community. Just those are two examples.
100%. Have you had any obstacles in your way? In the sense that have any of your posts getting taken down? Have you had any issues with sponsorships at all, or just have you had any obstacles in general?
So I would say, sometimes my videos do get taken down. I have to be a little bit careful with what I post, especially if I am speaking on the behalf of a brand. You have to stay true to yourself, but you also have to stay true and like follow guidelines. If a company doesn't want to be associated with certain actions or ideas, then you kind of have to steer away from that and kind of find where like your values and their values overlap. And so uh, I won't take sponsorship if I don't think we align. If we don't align, then I'm just not gonna. I don't want to dampen my image if it's not gonna be something that's true to me. So I always have to take that into account. In terms of other obstacles, sometimes you learn that certain brands aren't the best partners. And so you just gotta live and learn from those experiences and um, take that into account when you're looking for future partnerships with different corporations or brands. And um, I feel like me being in the shoes of the content creators, I kind of can understand where these businesses are going wrong with like their promotions or how they treat their creators. So I feel like when the time comes and I'm on the other side of that equation, I feel like that's something I really want to be able to address because I feel like a lot of times uh, influencers definitely get the short end of the stick. So
100%. Have you do you have any opinion on the idea of like people who are being sponsored should probably do more research before like accepting that sponsorship in that sense, right?
yeah, I definitely think it's up to the creator themselves if they want to accept. I know that money can be a big factor and people can just like sell out, but um if someone wants to do that, I mean they can do that. I just personally don't think that is a good it's not sustainable in the fact that, you're gonna drive away your fans and then the brand partners aren't even going to gain anything from that partnership. So it's really not mutually beneficial. And so one thing that I really appreciate with Truly is that they go through brand training with you and kind of set clear like pillars of what they stand for. And so that training has been totally helpful in the fact that you truly understand, pun was not intended, you actually understand what you're getting yourself into and how to speak authentically.
Do you intend to remain in the social media market as a potential career path at all?
Um, that's a good question, and, as someone with 50,000 followers, I don't know if at the moment, at this rate, I would be able to, like, provide for myself with, like, only 50,000 followers in terms of in the future, and considering a lot of my content is college themed and based once I'm out of college, I don't know exactly where that could go, but, all it takes is one big break, and I definitely, could see myself doing it if the opportunity presents itself. I really enjoy doing it, um, but, it's all up in the air. I could s As I mentioned, I wouldn't be opposed. I can't say that I really want to do it either, but I definitely wanna be involved in social media in general, maybe more on the back end, um, as I get older.
100%. Well, as far as getting older, what's a long-term goal that you have for yourself?
Good question. So, I've always kind of been interested in, like, startup companies and all that good stuff, so out of college, um, I feel like I want to, take risks, and so whatever that entails, I really like the idea of working with, like, a small product, kind of working on the marketing aspect of it, really that guerrilla organic, um, marketing that social media really can, uh, help foster and grow a brand, and so I feel like I have a pretty good understanding, and I wanna be able to leverage that, in the, like, real world, um, to kind of, create something of my own. I mean, in the future, I don't wanna be sitting in a cubicle, I wanna be out and about doing my own thing, kind of really just being authentic to myself. I wanna be able to, you know, live.
Well, if someone wanted to follow in your footsteps, what would you suggest? Is there anything that you'd tell them to learn in specific?
Um, if you wanna do it, just do it because you just gotta post videos. There's always gonna be haters. That's just something that it's really cliche, but you learn to deal with it. Um, Haters, you just live in their head rent free, and that's always how it's gonna be. You're not gonna be able to change them. You're gonna just have to listen to, the people that like you, um, because there are always gonna be people who never believed in you and they'll never change their minds, so you can't let that be like a deterrent. And then again, another thing, as I kind of touched on, just literally make the videos. Uh, that's literally the best thing you can do. Just start creating content. If you're creating good stuff, people are gonna find out about it eventually. All it takes is that one viral video, and so if you keep up with that mentality, and you're producing good stuff, people are gonna hear it eventually. So, don't be deterred. I think I made, like for 2 months, I made videos and, like, they weren't getting much attention at all, and then all it takes is one.
Do you have anything in mind that you'd tell people to study with regards to like maybe marketing habits or social media?
Yeah, so in terms of studying, you just gotta study your surroundings, and so if you wanna go big on TikTok, you gotta, you know, use TikTok. You gotta understand the back end of it. You gotta see what people are posting. You have to keep a pulse on what's going trending right now and how maybe you can tap into that message. There's a lot of, um, stuff that goes on behind the scenes. It's not all brainless, "Oh, you just went viral on TikTok." There's a lot of thoughts that go into, creating content that's relatable. It's gotta be aesthetically pleasing. The lighting's gotta be good. There's really a lot of factors that go into these videos that I make, sometimes more than others, Uh, and so it's just taking into account all these factors that might not seem like much on the surface level, but like there is a lot of thinking that goes into production.
How would you suggest someone promote themselves or their personal brand?
Um, I think it depends on what setting you're in. So if you want to be more professional, really like on LinkedIn, kind of building those professional connections. Um, just posting about yourself, keeping people updated on you. If you want to be promoting yourself on TikTok, kind of just showing truly like actually who you are. You don't want to be fake because there's just nothing that really comes out of it at the end of the day. You need to really be authentic. And so showing the world that is kind of my advice because that's what I've been doing. And people are either gonna take you for who you are, or they're not. And so if they're not gonna take you for who you are, then um, you probably shouldn't be working with them in the first place.
It's great advice right there. Do you have any other advice that you'd maybe give your freshman self if you could talk to them again?
Oh, my freshman self. Um, I get Snapchat memories from 2 years ago, and I just realize how crazy that time was. I really feel like I went through a rebellious stage, but, um, I don't regret anything. Uh, I always would tell my if I could tell my freshman self something, like, just always if you just, like, say yes to things, if you get invited to go hang out or, you know, go to the bar, your roommate is watching or your roommate's, like, watching, um they wanna watch a movie tonight or go on a walk, just doing those activities that, you're just laying in bed anyways, just go do it because you're not gonna have memories, of you laying in bed wishing you got those extra hours of sleep. You're gonna be talking about those times you went out and did something that wasn't normal, like you jumped in the frozen lake window um, and so I don't really have any regrets in that sense, but just, like, do stuff. It's not fun, laying in bed all day, keeping yourself occupied and whatnot, so, yeah, don't sweat the little things and, say yes to, new experiences.
All right. Well, to close out, do you have anything that you want to reiterate to the audience?
Um, just that, if you really wanna be involved in social media, the best way to learn from it is to actively participate in it. So whether, you're in the comment sections or you see something you like and you make sure you comment, share with your friends, um, really just experiencing it and, like, going through these scenarios is honestly the best way to learn, and so even if you have to learn the tough way, like, if you say something that might be controversial, you learn how to deal with that adversity and kind of the hate. Um, so yeah, just, do it. Just do it.
For sure. Well, that closes out the second episode of the All Heart Podcast. Thank you so much, Alan, for joining us. I really appreciate it. Um, for those who want to be featured on this podcast or have a story to share, the email is there if you would like to contact. Thank you so much for joining us on the second episode. We'll have a third episode coming either next week or the week after due to Thanksgiving. Have a nice night, and I'll catch you next week.
Thank you so much, Matt, for having me on.
Thank you again.